Hey everyone, Ment here. We're going to talk about using some of these ideas we talked about last week with the different kinds of dominant ideas and minor ideas and how we can kind of morph them together over dominant chords and minor chords, specifically on the bridge to Topsy. Now, in that first little part, I was just riffing on kind of what we were talking about last week, how we can interject that dominant chord leading to the 4 chord. So we're coming from the B flat minor chord, then we can insert the B flat 9 dominant chord right there to lead us to the 4 chord, and then you get back to the B flat minor chord. So we talked all about that in last week's video, so check that out. So what we'll do is spend the bulk of the time talking about the bridge. The chords are really simple. We've got a B flat chord, it's normal B flat 7 that resolves down to an E flat 7, which resolves down to an A flat 7, which resolves down to a D flat 7, and then a lot of times in the song you'll hear a C7, B7, then B flat minor. For this case, I'm not going to outline each one of those. I'm just going to do a D flat, and then I'm going to do the 5 of B flat minor, which is just an F7, or an altered F7 with that flat 9 in there to get us back to B flat minor. So what it'll sound like is B flat, E flat, these are just resolving dominants, A flat, D flat, F7, B flat minor. So what I started off with was an idea based off the flat 7 of the B flat chord. I just did the arpeggio. We talked about that a few weeks ago, or in the last month's lesson series, of just an arpeggio off the 7th of a flat 7 chord. And then I just did one of those little approaches to the 3rd. And then the arpeggio, but instead of the 9, I'm going to use the flat 9 there. So I have, and then resolve down to the B flat there. So that's a great way of kind of combining some things we've talked about in this month's and last month's. There's that arpeggio, there's the approach notes, and then there's our flat 9 arpeggio. So that's 3 different things in 3 months of content where you can start kind of seeing how this all kind of relates. And then we've got an E flat 7 chord, so we'll just resolve somehow. Let's how about work up to the 3rd there. So we have, all right, so we're landing now on the 3rd of E flat. So what I want to do now is target this, because we're just kind of stick with that flat 9 theme. There's my flat 9 right there, the E, all right, or an F flat in the case of the key. So we've got this, right, so I did something like that where you just come down chromatically, then get the arpeggio of that E flat. So chromatics here, arpeggio, chromatic down to the G, and then we're doing the flat 9 arpeggio up. And that's going to get us, we'll resolve somehow into this A flat 7 chord. So we've got something like this. And we want to kind of typically target that E flat there, because that's going just like that in the resolutions. Another variation. Okay, maybe one more using some of those ideas. So you can really kind of navigate using all those ideas. It's just how fast you want to get to each thing to resolve to it. And that kind of creates your own little phrasing in of itself, which is a cool little thing to start experimenting with. So we've got that nice little arpeggio there that leads us into this A flat, all right? When we get to the A flat, I'm messing more with, there's that flat 9 sound right there. So we've got, there it is. So what I might do